Good morning, guys, and welcome to another week of Market Check. I am Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. This show is brought to you, of course, by Because Bitcoin. I am joined by Tucker, Max, Dr. Outlook, and Jackus. Welcome, guys. Another week where we're going to be breaking down financial markets, trades, and everything in between. It was pretty funny. We're starting to have some pretty interesting debates in the not just during the show, but before the show gets going as well. And it's making for, I feel like, quite the entertaining dynamic. But I'm excited for this week, right? I mean, Bitcoin is knocking on the door of a breakout, 28K, 28.5. We said for a while, this is the line in the sand. If you're bearish, if you're bullish, this is the level where you would like to see strength. And I think strength specifically from Bitcoin, right? Rather than just necessarily altcoins, but specifically from Bitcoin, given the spot ETF narrative and the likelihood of any future pump on Bitcoin probably being driven by, liquidity from that. But yeah, I mean, look, guys, we had a very interesting weekend. We got the pump on Bitcoin on Sunday night. It was kind of telegraphed by altcoins throughout the entire weekend, right? I mean, you had Solana that kind of kickstarted it, I think, on Saturday morning. And then you had pretty much every other crypto beta begin to follow, culminating finally, of course, in that Bitcoin pump from about 27K to 28K. So now we have a bit of, the stage is set type of moment heading into this week. Equities are currently below the range that they broke down from I think it was 2 weeks ago at this point. So equities are, still looking to make a decision on directionality. It looks to me like equities might just chop and make everybody's week probably a little bit miserable. So this week, I'm a little bit hesitant to say that we see continuation in Bitcoin or that we see, equities just rip right back up into their range, but maybe they do. I will say from a crypto standpoint, you do have a bit of an interesting backdrop from the standpoint that you have the SBF trial, and there's going to be discovery coming out on that case. I think either this week or over the coming weeks, and that is likely to have some sort of influence on the crypto market. I'm pretty curious to see what happens to, like, if there's anything that comes out as far as practices go of other exchanges, how people could, or even Tether, potentially what sort of reaction does that cause in the market? What's actually under the hood? Is there anything under the hood worth paying attention to? Or is it irrelevant as Bitcoin approaches resistance? We will find out. Let's see. Other news that I was looking at today, I saw that Curve and BNB were strong. I noticed the Curve didn't make a new high over the weekend, though. I thought that was notable. The dollar was stronger than I expected to start the week, and it does not appear as though TLT has quite found a bottom yet. So I want to get into all of this stuff eventually on the show, guys, because I feel as though, like I've been saying, I think we have a lot of assets that are, beginning to show correlation where they haven't in a while, and that correlation is going to provide, I think the guardrails to make very straightforward decisions regarding Q4. And that clarity will probably come within a few weeks. But what's up, guys? I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend, spent some time with family, maybe watched college football. That's usually what I spend my Saturdays in the fall doing. But welcome, guys.
Well, listen, the Vikings won. I didn't watch, but the Vikings did win. I was kind of hoping they'd lose, and I'll tell you why. Because if you lose 3 in a row, it's like there's still a little bit of hope left, right? If you lose 4 in a row to start the year, it's completely over. And I was hoping I'd get to buy some cheap season tickets off of somebody that just gave up on the team. So it's bittersweet. I'm happy that there's still a little bit of hope and they're doing well, but I think it's gonna keep ticket prices elevated a little longer than I would have hoped. But yeah, we had some comments to each other before we got on stream here. The problem is Will is super, super bearish, and he's been shorting all year. Every single move he's been shorting, and he's just a perma bear, man. He just cannot turn it off, and it's like the death of the outlook as we know it, man. It's just a different time. It's just a different time. I'm just kidding, guys. You know that's not true. This is a really fun start to October. A really fun start to October. But I will say this, like I'm actually for those that are in our Discord, caught last week's show, last Thursday and Friday, you know that I picked up a lot of spot long exposure. So that's been great. That's been fun. But I also would argue that this is not the best place to open fresh longs, even if you are bullish here. I think you probably want to wait for a little bit of a pullback, or at least just things to pause here. This is pretty high risk to open up longs right up here because this thing could aggressively drop down. Even if it is bullish, you could see like 27.2, maybe even lower. And then maybe some more continuation, or maybe like a retest of the monthly open, and then you continue onward. But one thing that I think could potentially lead to a more aggressive squeeze, we talked about this morning in our Discord call, is that funding is still pretty negative across the board on Bitcoin. So longs are actually getting paid right now. If you're longing on perps, you're actually getting paid. So I think there's definitely a stage being set for higher prices. I think that we have some promising times ahead of us, but just be a little bit careful aping in right up here. Just a little bit careful for sure. But yeah, I guess my big question is like, are we going to see some alt outperformance, or is this just going to be a Bitcoin dominance rally? I don't know. I'm optimistic, cautiously optimistic that ETH BTC has maybe bottomed, and I want to talk about that today with you guys, or is pretty close to a bottom. But also it could take a while. But I think if ETH BTC starts to move upward out of this falling wedge that it's in on a really high time frame, then I think that you can see some altcoin outperformance. But I think in the short term, it's going to be a Bitcoin rally mainly.
I think the most bullish thing would be if it were a Bitcoin-led rally, honestly. But I do, with that said, I actually think that altcoins are probably going to have one more leg higher this week. But I do think the most bullish thing would be if it were just a Bitcoin-led rally.
I'd like to talk about Caspa, and see kind of where that chart is on that rising.
Will,
there you go.
Will, we need to bet a stake right now. We're going to make this bet, all right? Caspa's never going below 3 cents again, Will. All right?
Can I add a derivative to our bet, Max?
I already got you hogtied, Tommy. I'm not letting you go, man. It's over for Tommy.
He wants to add a hedge to his stake.
Tommy's toast, man. And every day that it goes on, we doubled down the bet this week. And I need to quickly announce this here because the audience knows about this bet. Tommy and I have a bet. He's betting that by the middle of February, say Valentine's Day. All right, by Valentine's Day, Solana will be single digits again. And I said, Tommy, that is not happening. So basically, Tommy's betting that by middle of February, it'll be under $10. And I'm betting that by middle of February, Solana will not be and will have not gone below $10. And we initially bet a stake and a flight. All right, because we don't live in the same area. And I'm sure we'll do like a team meetup. It'll be everybody.
You guys up at the first class though, right?
Well, hang on. Yeah, that's where we're going with this. So this weekend, we were going back and forth over text. We were talking a little bit of trash. And Tommy said he'd actually be down to double down. So instead of a flight and a steak, it is now first class both ways and the entire steak dinner meal, not just the steak. So it went from maybe like a $500 to $800 bet to now we're well over 2,000 at this point. We're well over 2,000. We're talking about a steak dinner. We're talking about a bottle of wine. We're talking dessert. We're talking potatoes. The meat, potatoes, the veggies, the whole thing.
If we're going to a steakhouse, we're going to enjoy ourselves.
We're going to enjoy ourselves. We're going to enjoy ourselves. So here's the thing. So every day I'm going to, because I like Tommy. He's a genuinely a good guy. And I feel terrible about the bet that he proposed and I took. I keep giving him options to get out early. Like last week I said, Tommy, I'll let you out of this bet for $400. He said, no. He actually doubled down this weekend. So now, Tommy, officially on air, I'd like to propose to you to get out of this bet. First class both ways plus a steak dinner, $650. That's the buyout option. Oh, no deal. No deal, man. Oh, man. All right. No deal. Will, you can proceed. I just had to update everybody.
No, you're good. It sounded like it went from a date to a wine and dine. So I mean, it's definitely an interesting concept
It
here.
did.
It's gonna be romantic. Yeah, it's gonna be candles and everything. Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
Yeah, but I tend to play the patterns when it comes to charts, and I would say this is the most ideal chart you'd want to see if you were bearish on anything. I would point this out that
This
where's
is not
price?
bearish, Will.
Where's price right now? Is it breaking above your line there?
Will, Rome wasn't built in a night, man.
I mean, could we pull that same top up and it's going to be a hot take, but can we pull that up on Luna side by side, that same top end range? We don't have to look at the drop.
Will, probably
you don't have to look at the drop.
Will, did you see the text I sent?
Yeah, Snorlax already gave you the fractal.
I'm not at all. I want to be very clear. I'm not saying Caspa goes to zero, because I keep on hearing people saying that I'm saying this. I'm just saying the top pattern is pretty much the same. That's all I'm saying.
Will, this is an ascending channel. This is like the most common pattern in all of crypto.
It's an ascending channel inside.
You can't cherry pick the one that went to zero and be like, I'm seeing the same similarities. The Elliott wave.
No.
But
again, no. But people keep on thinking that I'm saying it's going to zero. It's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is you can tell a topping pattern because it always tends to play the same way, right? A topping pattern does not mean zero. It just means it's about to come down.
Are you bullish Bitcoin in Q4?
I've been bullish Bitcoin. I've been bullish market.
No, just yes.
Caspa's the most play there is out there.
Are you?
All I hear is your net worth of Caspa.
Yes or no, Will? Yes or no? Bullish Q4?
Yes, I'm very bullish Q4.
You can't have an imploding Caspa unless there's systemic cracks. Well, you have a bullish Q4 for Bitcoin. I mean, it's going to get dragged up even if it doesn't outperform.
Look, Luna was the first one to implode. Just say it.
This is not even really entertaining.
That was also like the top of a bull market.
It was, yeah. But has Caspa seen any bear market at all?
Will, October 2nd, the first market check of October, and you're fudding one of the strongest coins in crypto.
I am.
$1 billion market cap as we're less than a year out from the Bitcoin halving.
Caspa is the NVIDIA of crypto. Nobody's buying NVIDIA.
It looks the same too. Like the chart looks the exact same.
Nobody's buying NVIDIA.
You're missing the forest through the trees.
Bro.
You're missing the forest through the trees. There's not even commonality between what Luna and what Caspa are and do, man.
Who's using Caspa?
Who's using Caspa?
Yeah.
Sisu Reborn.
Answer it. Okay. Asking that question is the same as Naka asking who uses Bitcoin.
Nope, not at all.
No,
not
it's
at
exactly
all.
the same.
Nope.
It's exactly the same.
Caspa is not a store of value, bro.
How is it not a store of value?
Because Bitcoin's a store of value.
Will, I made a video about this.
I'm gonna left curve the whole Caspa store value conversation.
Go look at Bitcoin in like 2011, man. Do you wish you could go buy Bitcoin in 2011? Well, you can. It's called buying Caspa right now.
Bro.
Now that's some propaganda.
When did people start doing drugs on this show? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay.
What's your invalidation, guys?
Wait.
I'm just curious.
My invalidation is zero, Tommy.
I will buy that.
I will sit on here and I will give you an invalidation. I will give it to you.
I don't want to hear yours because it's nonsense, man. You're trying to compare it to Luna.
No. Look. An invalidation means that I would be wrong, right?
All right. What's the inval?
I'll give you an inval. An inval is crossing the midline there. 12. You get around 12 cents, or not? Is that 12? Yeah.
Oh, bro, it's breaking that black diagonal line, man. You break out of that wedge right there.
I think you can easily deviate above that and then roll back under.
Will, you're just wrong on this.
You just entertained it in your head. You know you did. You know you just entertained.
No, you're just straight up wrong on this.
He looked at the chart and he's like, "Hold on."
No.
Like, let me think about it.
You need to go get your breakfast burrito, man. This hunger's getting to you or something. Man.
Oh,
Goes
man.
off his
Look,
game.
it's
What is
not
that
a Snickers
commercial?
morning, okay?
You're not you when you're hungry.
Snickers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not a Snickers. It's not
Go
a
get a
Snickers morning.
I don't know what
Look.
world you live in, man, but this
Look,
is.
let's just delete the channel and draw the top end for what it is.
I'll never delete this channel because it's holding.
Go ahead.
The only way I delete it is when we break out to the upside. Okay, and it
But
flips
you
up.
know what I'm talking about here.
I have no
And it's
idea what you're
that
talking
rising wedge. Oh yeah.
about. I have no
You
idea
know
what you're
I'm
talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right. We'll
That
just
sounds
we'll
spicy,
go.
dog.
We'll go overtime.
Jackus, help settle this, man. Where's Caspa going?
I mean, I sort of have to agree here with Max. If it breaks that black line, I think it's really has good potential to go higher. But as I will also give some credit to what Will is saying, I think if it breaks that black line, okay, and then rolls below the swing low that we just made, then that's your invalidation, in my opinion. Because if it breaks that black line, it really needs to continue higher. It cannot lose that swing
And that's
low.
all that support. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Like if you roll up and then come back under, you're screwed. This thing's rolling down.
Will, you're
It
talking.
invalidates the channel and invalidates
I
the.
want to talk
resistance.
about the cyclicality of this market. Okay.
Cyclicality don't matter. Chart patterns matter. That for me, cyclicality is
Okay.
And
Okay, hang on. Let me finish though. If you started looking for bearish patterns on ADA and Sol and BNB at $1 billion market caps, you would have missed the 100x from there on all of those names. All right. What I'm saying is your patterns matter, but they don't matter that much right now, this early on a promising name like Caspa that's probably going to perform well next cycle. Charting something in its infancy like Caspa is missing the forest through the trees. If we were at a $50 billion market cap and it was printing this pattern, I'd be out. Okay. But if you find any bearish pattern on any of the top coins from last cycle at a 1 billion market cap, who cares if they drop a little bit more? That's
what I've been saying about Bitcoin. That's exactly what I've been saying about Bitcoin.
You literally didn't even listen to what I just said. You literally you came up with that while I was talking and said that. You didn't even respond to what I said.
I'm literally responding.
You
And everybody left curved me on Bitcoin.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about where I said even if it drops to 23, 22, doesn't matter. I was like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, just bid 25.
That image you pasted in the corner.
You like that?
Yeah.
What does it say? I can't read it.
You ain't seen propaganda yet, brother.
Yeah,
Move on from Caspa.
there's a little propaganda for you.
I agree. If you think Caspa's going to go to a 50 billion, 100 billion market cap, sure. Maybe this is the buying opportunity of a lifetime, even with pullback, right? But I can tell you this: a lot of people thought the same thing about a very similar chain, aka Cadena, and it's pretty much set up the same way. And we can look at that chart if we want to look at it real quick.
We'll pull it up. What is it? CAD USDT?
Yep.
Or is it KDA?
Very similar. KDA.
Oh, no.
Chain's very similar. Very similar chain.
What do you mean it's very similar?
It's pretty much the same thing. It's a proof of work. Very much pretty much the same thing.
Because something's proof of work doesn't mean it's the same.
It's outside of a ghost tag. It's pretty much
Okay,
the same.
so as of recently, Ethereum was proof of work. So is Bitcoin and ETH and Caspa all the same because they're all proof of work?
No, proof of work is just a theory that people use.
No, it's not a theory.
to try and utilize
Proof of work is not a theory. I will not let you get away with saying that because that's not true.
Oh my god! Look, proof of work is obviously mining. Proof of stake is obviously staking. They're both theoretically.
Just because something is proof of work doesn't mean it's entirely the same as another network that's proof of work.
They
Imagine
all
not
they
thinking
do in the terms
You're
of security.
cherry picking Cadena,
No,
Cadena versus Caspa and saying, well, they're both proof of work. Look at what happened to this one that was proof of work. I could say, oh, well, look at Bitcoin in 2011. It's proof of work. Now look at Caspa. It's proof of work. Caspa's the next Bitcoin.
Max,
That's cherry picking, Will.
No, because they do in the terms of security.
No.
Again, security is the reason.
Well, you haven't looked
proof of
into
work
Caspa
versus proof of stake.
You haven't looked into Caspa then.
I will say
it's a ghost. It's a ghost
only-
tag. There's nothing that special about a ghost tag.
The only thing that concerns me about Caspa, and I've said this before, was the fact that you can only buy it and sell it on illiquid exchanges, which means it's going to be very reflexive to risk on or risk off conditions. I think that's there is a bear case for Caspa, and it's, I would say, much more bearish than probably
a lot of people want to see,
anticipated, just because of the fact that you can only buy and sell it on very illiquid places. So if there is, a call for that capital, or funds feel like they need to be forced to liquidate, you could see that sell pretty hard.
Yeah,
I've seen it before. Actually, my favorite, Max, the shitcoin I used to like fangirl for when I first started, did the exact same thing on KuCoin. They had an
fangirl,
and it pumped. Yeah, no, I was literally like a fangirl for this coin back on my old account. It's literally like 500K market cap now. It's basically at zero. But at one point, I believe on the ETH, on Uniswap, it pumped to almost like 100, 200 million market cap, listed on KuCoin after it had already come down about 90%. And they pumped the price, but it wasn't sustainable at all because, the daily volume was relatively low for the amount of market capitalization that was being added on.
What's the ticker, Tommy?
I don't want to say it.
Oh no!
I can give you another example of a ghost tag if you guys want. It's Phantom. Pull up Phantom. It's literally the same thing.
But
if you had faded Phantom when it came out,
hang on. I wanted to say this real quick. We shouldn't even be debating this because it's I literally think debating this is a waste of time, and I don't mean that to dismiss it. Yes, that's basically where I'm viewing Caspa.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I'm saying we don't need to just compare proof of work networks and FUD something in its infancy right now. Like, it's not even constructive. It's not constructive. So it's like let's just talk about where Bitcoin and ETH are going, because I do not agree at all that Caspa is going to zero like Luna, or is like a Cadena or Phantom.
I didn't say it was going to zero, but that's fine. We can move on.
Let's just talk about where Bitcoin and ETH are going, because that's what's actually important, is what majors are going to do right now.
I love your candles there. Actually, if you go back to that, see your red candle and your green candles on your left.
Yeah, they're just OI overlays.
Yeah, I'm talking about on your candlestick patterns. So you notice how you have the green drop, the green run, and then the red drop. How they're almost pretty much equal moves to each other.
Yeah,
that's your imbalance to your rebalance. That's what I was trying to say around 25K. Is basically the flush you had to the upside, you got that same equivalent flush to the downside, and that was your support at 25K roughly in that range.
You gotta hold this. You gotta hold 27.8, in my opinion.
I think you got to flip 28.5 personally. That's my opinion. You got to flip 28.5. Now you do have the higher highs in this range. So if you look there, you have from the previous drop, basically we had the lower highs. We've now completed higher highs in the current range.
What?
Wait, hang on. I see two Jackuses. Wait, there's Jackus charts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You hear me, man?
Yeah, I hear you.
Good.
But why is there two of you?
Okay. I told you in the chat. I don't know if you read it.
Oh, I see.
One's chart Jackus,
okay.
The other one's voice Jackus.
All right.
Yeah, because I had troubles with my laptop, with the Wi-Fi, so I connected via PC, but I can't join my headsets to my PC because I don't have a Bluetooth there. So I had to join via phone where I am using data, and it's pretty good, like the sound and everything. So that's the no logo account where I'm talking. But I'm gonna use the other account, like the Jackie's charts for charts, obviously.
All right.
Sorry for that.
No, you're good. You're good. I didn't even see the other one. I was like, oh, there's 2 Jackuses, and I haven't heard from them.
That's my brother, though.
Let me look at this.
We got a Jack panel today, guys. We've got Jackus on twice.
Yeah, we got. Well, he should be on twice, man. He literally called this move perfectly, man. He should be on. So there's 2 Jackuses, man. It's powerhouse. Look at ETH, guys.
Special guest.
Oh,
Look at ETH. What am I supposed to do with this information, guys? What am I
Powerhouse, man.
What am I supposed to do with this information?
Net worth long.
Will, is that a bearish pattern, man? Like going to 0 too?
Here we go, bro.
ETH was once proof of work, just like Caspa, man. That means it's going to 0, right?
Well,
I mean,
no.
ETH
The funny part is,
it had the whole hack. It had to fork.
Yeah, Tommy, great point. Great point, Tommy.
The other thing is ETH moved to proof of stake, and it had a lot more resiliency than it did in 2017.
I can think of some other proof of stake networks that went to 0. Will, can you?
Not many. Not as many proof of works.
But all joking aside, this is a very bullish looking chart.
Since Ethereum has moved to proof of stake with the burn mechanism, that can also become inflationary. I want to be very clear.
It is right now. It is right now.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I always want to be clear about that because I think a lot of people don't know that. It has held more resiliency than the previous cycle. I will say that. Now, does it mean that it can't end not too well for it? Halving hasn't happened yet. So until the halving happens, I can remain in the scenario where there could be more downside.
Hang on, I'm gonna click share max and then I'm gonna give it back to you. Don't worry. It'll take over.
Calling a Tommy.
Also, the ETH supply is just going parabolic, by the way, but we'll talk about that later.
I always love to point out the fact because I think a lot of people just are ignorant to the fact that it can become inflationary. So
but what's the inflation rate of ETH right now? It's probably still less than Bitcoin, right?
No, because when Bitcoin basically gets halved, it's inflationary. It gets cut in half.
No, right? I'm saying.
I mean, BTC has a finite amount of coins, whereas with ETH, it can be either inflationary and deflationary, as Will is saying. Plus, we don't know how many ETH are out there. Like, nobody knows, and that's like nobody knows how many Monero is there is, and I don't say whether it's good or bad. It's just the way it is, and people should know it.
Yeah, the point being with Ethereum is it could be any number of numbers. Like there's no cap on Ethereum. There is a cap on Bitcoin. Now, we could argue algos, but that's just the facts. And it's the same thing with Quant. Quant is another one of those too. So QNT, that's another one that's also capped. So those two are two that are capped, and there's other cryptos too that are capped, but Ethereum is not capped.
I mean, the only thing that halving does is that it reduces how many new Bitcoins are added, each day, each month, each year for the next 4 years. But like the supply is finite. It's never getting higher or lower.
I think too, to kind of add to that, Jackus, like a lot of people don't understand like the whole process of Bitcoin and the readjustment periods and all that stuff like that, where Bitcoin will actually readjust its hash rates depending on how many miners exist every week. So rewards are distributed evenly amongst how many people exist to mine. So if there's less miners, then more rewards. If there's more miners, less rewards. And it does that weekly.
That's a good point, Will.
Yeah, Bitcoin's the most insane. Like when you look at it from just from the way that's been structured, it's the most insanely structured crypto out there. Like there's nothing that can even come close. Not even Ethereum can touch what Bitcoin.
The most insane thing that we haven't talked about yet is that this video is only at 60 likes. Guys, we got 30 people watching. Thank you so much for being here, and happy kickoff to Q4. I literally cannot believe it's Q4 already. That's just wild. But if you guys are enjoying the stream so far, please hit that thumbs up button for us. It really helps push the channel and push the stream. Thank you guys so much for being here again and for your continued support. We greatly appreciate it. We usually have a TP of 30 likes on this stream. I think we can hit 30 today. Let's see if we can do TP1 at 20, TP2 at 30 while we're live. Thank you guys so much for being here as always. But yeah, let's see how many likes we got now. All right, we're up to 18. We're doing okay. We'll get to 30 by the end. But yeah, guys, please take one moment, hit that thumbs up for us.
If we can get to 30 likes, Casper might actually go up. I just want to be clear about that.
All right, wait, check this out.
You're gonna pull a Tommy and steal it? Wow.
Yeah, hang on. I wanted to show the where is it? Bang. So we have seen, like, if you look at like the obviously
ultrasound money.
Ultrasound money, Jack. It's ultrasound money. We have seen supply go up, right, the last 7 days. But if you look since the burn or since the merge and then you simulate proof of work, it's like it's not even, you know what I mean? It's not even comparable how much less supply is coming into the market. Right.
Yeah, I mean, we could say less supply, but it's still supply, right?
Yeah, 1.2% versus I mean, that's like 2.5. I mean, that's like a 2x more supply, right?
And after the halving, Bitcoins will be cut in half again.
Okay, Will, what is your argument that Bitcoin is better than ETH because it's less inflationary? I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the inflation rate of Bitcoin right now?
Well, here's the thing. It's also less affected by macroeconomics, bearish or bullish, whereas Ethereum is specifically affected by macroeconomics, bearish or bullish.
Well, so is Bitcoin.
May I have my small take on
Bitcoin's
this?
hash rate is not.
Jack, let's go for it. Yeah, Jack, let's go for it. Go ahead.
BTC is the most conservative, solid, approved crypto out there, and it's a good thing because it's defined well, it works. Whereas ETH is, maybe it can be better, I don't know, but it's still a tryout, or like it as Will is pointing out, it can be both deflationary or inflationary. Plus, we don't really know how much ETH there is. So, like, I think that ETH runs higher, and I think the ETH BTC chart actually pumps, at least for the next period. But like, the thing is that BTC is the backbone of crypto. It's there, it's solid, it's defined, it's well known. Whereas ETH is at this point is really an experiment. It moved to proof of stake, and there can be problems in the future because of that. We don't know, because what is 1 year? That doesn't prove anything. You need something like 5 years, 10 years to really prove ETH as proof of stake. So it could be, it could work, but maybe not. And so the only thing currently sort of proved in crypto is BTC, in my opinion.
Yeah, but you also have to add to that too, Jack. It's like Ethereum keeps on changing and flipping and redoing and forking, and whereas Bitcoin has remained static through all these years.
Yeah,
and has remained resilient in that static too.
And I mean, both are good, right? Because you don't want just ETH to be another Bitcoin. I think it's good that ETH is trying these changes and trying to be its own thing, and then it's up to the market to say which one is better, which one is more useful. And we will be here playing the charts and trying to read what the market is telling us.
Yeah, everyone. I don't think that ETH is better than Bitcoin. Not at all. I don't view ETH as money. To be clear, that website is funny. Ultrasound money. I view ETH as a technology. More like a software.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I don't view ETH as money. I view Bitcoin as digital property, as a digital asset, and more recently,
digital commodity.
Yeah, thank you, Jack. But yeah, I agree on that. I think that Bitcoin is king, no doubt, and I think it should remain on top. But I don't think that there's an issue with ETH being, short term, modestly inflationary, which is what was brought up earlier, because it's really not. Like, the supply of ETH yes, is moving up, but it's not like the inflation rate of ETH is like Doge or something.
The inflation. Okay, no. ETH is lower. The supply of ETH has peaked. The supply of ETH peaked when they switched to POS. Period.
Well,
But that doesn't mean it's not gonna go higher at some point.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
The point that I wanted to make is not a point that Ethereum can't flatline and or go up less, right? I just wanted people to understand, like, because all I hear consistently from people all the time is that Ethereum's it's deflationary. They don't understand that there is another side to Ethereum that is specifically affected by macro, right? And that means in a bear market, when on-chain basically transactions have lowered, you're going to get an inflationary ETH. And then in a bull market, you're going to get a deflationary ETH. So they kind of cut each other out in a sense, but at the same time, there's no cap.
Well, let me ask you this then. So what you just said is interesting. It almost sounds like it's programmed to pump like crazy.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's set up for. Yeah, 100%.
So when conditions
everything will pump.
Yeah, no, it will. Everything it's like programmed to pump, man. If it's deflationary in a bull market,
100%.
It's 100%.
Yep. No, I completely agree.
You kind of have.
I just wanted people to understand both sides.
ETH with that, man. You have to be bullish ETH BTC with that. And that's not an endorsement of ETH over Bitcoin. We're talking about pumponomics now. All right, it's way different.
And you'll get wrecked just as quickly too.
There's no reason to have the ETH versus Bitcoin. Like, you need them both. Like, what is the point of like saying one's better than the other? I don't know.
Well, it goes back to what Max was saying, and that's property versus, everything around property. And I would say Ethereum's everything around property, and property is Bitcoin. So yeah, when you're looking at it from those aspects, you need both to be able to work together. You're muted, Tucker.
Yeah. No, I mean, ETH can do things that Bitcoin can't do, right? And Bitcoin will never change. You need them both. I don't get it. Like, they're both great.
Yeah. I mean, what Tucker says makes sense. ETH is trying to do its role, and BTC is serving its role, and it's up to you to decide which one you want to use.
But yeah, Max. Oh, go ahead, Jack, because I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, good. I was.
Well, what I wanted to say to Max is like, yeah, I knew that as soon as they moved to proof of stake, Max, I knew exactly what they were trying to do here. They're trying to make Ethereum some kind of crazy pump by making it deflationary in a bull market. And then while in a bear market, if you hold ETH, you're going to get destroyed. So like that's really kind of the up market versus the down market. You had to understand when the market's turning over, because Ethereum will wreck you to the downside if it ends up playing back down into a bear market.
I want to talk about this chart, guys. Bitcoin NASDAQ. We were watching this a couple days ago, man. And I'll say it's starting to look like it's breaking out here. And it could be entering another accumulation area. It doesn't have to go crazy. But I will say there's definitely some similarities with what I'm seeing here. And it looks really strong right now. No doubt.
Yeah, it does. It looks good, man. And I love, I absolutely love, like especially like in the past year, measuring the value of an asset against other markets, not against fucking fiat currencies and only one like the dollar. That doesn't tell you anything, Even with real estate, you just cannot measure, like you can, but like it can be very, sorry, I cannot find the right word, but like you can get it wrong if you just look at the dollar price of things. What you want to do with real estate, for example, is measure it against the yearly salary, to get the idea of real value, or measure it against gold or silver or the Dow Jones, And I think it's the same with any asset. And if you compare all of these assets, you can get clear picture of where the value is of an asset.
Oh, absolutely.
That makes sense.
No, it does perfectly. And you were doing that. You had a good example of Jackus. I think you were doing it with the Dow. Maybe you were comparing the Dow against silver, or Bitcoin, or CPI. I don't know, something. It was a good chart, but
Oh yeah, the Dow Jones versus divided by US CPI. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
just
yeah.
type that in. That's pretty awesome. You know, if you just type Dow Jones in,
Let's type it in right now. So DJI.
divided US CPI. No. Wait.
No, I typed
you
it in wrong.
cannot
I
you
typed
cannot do it. Yeah,
US
US CPI.
CPI.
Yeah, and then you click okay. Yeah, it should work that way.
Yeah, that's interesting.
If you go on monthly, it just I mean, if you go even more long term, like zoom out, and then the levels are just so clean. It's crazy. Like if you're gonna look at the 2008-9 crash, it just perfectly retested the 70s stagflation high.
Man, if Bitcoin stays up here, I think this is gonna rip. It's above my blue line.
Right here, Jackus, you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, look at this. That's spooky. You know, that's like it makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. Well, it's got no business being that perfect, you know.
exactly.
That's incredible. So
And,
then
and like if you
at some point.
and then if you look at the BTC Euro chart, you know, we've already reclaimed the range, and it's like it's useful. Look at these all of these charts. If you're looking at only one chart, you are blind, in my opinion. You know.
Yeah, because see this chart, and I'm gonna pull it up next
Holy
to what?
Wow.
I'm gonna pull it up. So this is on the right here. This is just normal Bitcoin USD, or you know, whatever. Bitcoin USDT, and this is Bitcoin Euro.
And you can see the euro is already reclaiming the resistance, the weekly resistance.
So you can see the difference here. Euro chart looks way more bullish. Way more bullish. Because this
And
is
if you're gonna
the equivalent of 30K. You know?
exactly. And in my opinion, it's forecasting the path for BTC USD. It just, you know, when the dollar index goes down, this will rebalance. And if you're gonna look at on the Bitcoin Euro chart, if you're gonna look at the higher time frame range on you know, from 2021 till now, it's just a perfect level there that worked.
Yeah, I would argue too to kind of to kind of support this. Like you had that time capitulation, right? So if you were to take the low here and you were to flip that up to where we are now, as far as you can go Bitcoin Euro, Bitcoin dollar from that initial drop down from that capitulation drop all the way across. We're almost the same amount of time up here as we spend at the lows, and it looks like it wants to reverse up more and go up another level. So this is almost like your leg one into your leg two, and like you're going to level up into another area of liquidity higher.
This is basically what I see happening at this point.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what I mean.
And then
Yep.
we're just gonna do something like this.
Yep. Exactly. It doesn't have to be much higher. It just has to move up one more level.
Yeah, it's gonna
And then
move
you
up
got
another
a 3-drive move, basically.
and all of this here, like there's some serious inefficiencies right here, like all the way from last bull market, you know.
You get it.
And CME gaps.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, thank you.
Exactly. It fills all that stuff right there. That's exactly where you want to go.
There's a Bitcoin CME gap.
That was my thesis, Max, when we were up high, and I was like, we're going to go to 36, 37. I was like, because we're going to fill those inefficiencies higher, but it just took longer to do it.
Well, you know what you told me once? You said, you know what, Max? You always see the move right before it happens. I don't waste any time, you know, right before it happens. I managed to see it and flip, but I need things to develop a little bit. But here's a CME gap. So by the way, this big green thing, monthly inefficiency above us, monthly FEG, and then within that, we've got a CME gap right at the mid range of it. I could see something like this. I don't know. We'll see if the drop happens. You know, I do want this bottom one filled, but
It just comes later, man. It just comes
think
later.
about the timing of it too, right? So, Jack, as we were talking about how if equities go on to make a new high and then they actually go down to like 3,200 or something like that, the S&P 500, and we get a recession, gold and silver, I mean, commodities and equities will both have a knee-jerk reaction down, like a big nuke, and then commodities will recover. Like you'll see gold and silver nuke if equities nuke, but they'll recover while equities continue to be down. It would make sense with the timing, you know, sometime next year, you know, maybe it happens over here where Bitcoin's at 37, 38, 40K, and then we get a major recession and, you know, unemployment's climbing like crazy and equities are nuking and Bitcoin basically just has like a flash crash and then V recovers or something like that. So
yeah, I am of that belief too. The only thing is that I think that we go with this leg. I think we go above 50K where we distribute of this leg, and then when we do this pullback, I think we go back to retest this 31K higher time frame range or something like that.
Yeah, if we go to 50, we're definitely going to be 30 support for sure.
So you're thinking like up here, and then the nuke might be to retest.
Exactly.
Like
and yeah, but it will obviously depend on where we are by then and how we get there and so on. So this is just my plan, but this can adapt. The main thing is that we are bullish now, you know, and how high we go, we will see. Yeah, just like during the bull run of 2020-21, everyone was screaming, you know, let's go to 100K, 200Ks, and so on with BTC. But then you have to adapt. And if we are, you know, when they started to talk about raising the rates, in hindsight now talking, what we should have all done is like look at it, you know, BTC is making this double top, you know, just swept the high, rejected above, you know, they talk about raising rate and like all this confluence coming together. And what we should have done is say, okay, this cycle is getting, you know, underperformed and we should probably sell. So this is something that I like try to combine the two where like right now I'm bullish but I'm also open that I don't know, like, how high do we go during this leg? And we will have to see, you know, if we just get to something like 35K and then it stays there till like, you know, Q3 of 2024 and we haven't done much, then surely it's possible we go and do some crazy sweep to like 20K. But if we do get to above 50 now, until then I think the drop is going to be just like to 31, you know. We will simply have to adapt to the conditions.
For sure. It's still hard for me to see 50K right now. Not that I'm dismissing it, but it's very hard for me to see that in the short term. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, I get it. I understand it because I was there too. But what I've experienced in crypto and how fast things can change, it always seems like impossible. You know, when ETH was trading at I don't know what, you know, $100, it was crazy to ever think it would go to 1,300 again or something like that, and it just feels like impossible. Like you simply cannot imagine how the price is gonna get there, you know, so quick, so fast. How? But then it just happens like nothing, in a matter of weeks or months, and suddenly when you see that printed in the chart, it feels normal.
I mean, that's a good point, right? Like if we look at ETH, move these here. Looking at ETH, man, I mean, look at this chart. This is wild. I mean, I wasn't really around during this time, but
I would have never thought ETH held the way it did, bro. Like after 2017, I thought we were going to go much lower than we did. I mean, much lower.
We were at just like right around here, man. We were at less than $200.
Yeah.
Look what happened. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Went up to 5,000 almost.
I mean, we don't have to even stay in crypto. Just like look at, you know, things like Apple, Amazon, and all these, you know, just look at them now. and then go back in time and look how they looked, 10, 20 years ago, and you would think that like, hey, this is not possible that it's gonna keep going up, and uh, just because you think it's hard for you to imagine that doesn't mean it won't happen because of that.
We'll see something
It
like
does.
this, man. It's gonna make the last pump look like nothing too. That's the funny thing. It's gonna go to 12,000 or whatever.
I can't imagine what Sol and these other altcoins are gonna look like if that thing pumps that high, man. Like these altcoins.
Man, what's Caspa gonna look like, man?
Gas was gonna be 0. That's what it's gonna be. Everything else is gonna be like up like 7, 8x. Gas was gonna be sitting at 0.
Damn,
And,
you said you weren't
that's what
calling for 0 a minute ago.
There are a few interesting
I'm
comments
just messing with you, man.
from Saberstein. He asks, so if Bitcoin continues higher from here towards 50K, what does that mean for alt? I think BTC slightly front runs, but then ETH will catch up. The ETH BTC chart will go up, and alt will catch up too. But it will be a sort of short-term lift, in my opinion. And then Robert asks, alts typically don't do much until after the halving, regardless of what BTC does. A few might go up with it, but only a few. And I think that's a good point. But even if you look at prior to halving, in 2020, we had few windows where alts did nothing crazy. Like as he says, after halving, when you get like the big alt cycle. And I agree with that. But before that, you get sort of like a mini alt cycle where alts don't do like 5,000%, but they still do 300, 500%. And imagine that happening after the current depression times.
Bro, like a 2 or 3x is amazing right now. Like anybody's happy about that. And I would say, like, if you're looking at altcoins specifically, like you just got to understand your floors will get missed in these ranges. Like you're coming way off floors, regardless of directionality of a lot of crypto. I always like to look at it from the simple aspect of a rising tide lifts all ships, and even altcoins feel that kind of pressure of upside. And it's due to speculation in some cases. In other cases, it's just liquidity flowing with the liquidity of Bitcoin. And so some of those pumps will come back down to floors, and other pumps will stay elevated, and some cryptos will continue to rise with Bitcoin, while other ones will remain to go lower, even potentially after that pump initially happens. But I got to take off, guys. I just want to throw that out there, just food for context. Great show. Thank you. Appreciate all you guys' time. Max, Casper's going to 0. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. All right.
Hey, I didn't know they had perps for Caspa now, so I might look at trading that myself.
Oh god!
Don't you dare! Tommy.
Here we go.
Don't do it.
Keep your size away from Caspa, Tommy.
Tommy, short it.
What do you guys think about this chart? This is a total 2, so everything excluding Bitcoin.
I want people to know too, just before I leave real quick, I did buy Caspa at one point, unloaded my bags, kind of saw the resistance, played on that. So it's not like I'm just hating on the sidelines. Like, hey, I want to get back in. I don't chase beta, guys. I just don't. I'll look for something else. But nice show. I'll see you guys.
See you, Will.
See ya, Will. I mean, I always find it ridiculous that some people, would laugh at you that you missed some chart. I mean, there are so many coins out there that, like, as long as you get the meat of the move, you're all right. So.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, I've never really cared about. I don't really care about like catching the exact bottom. It's more I just want to buy something when I think it's going to go up soon,
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of crypto is that, and I've seen personal examples of this in my own portfolio. Like I missed the low in the summer of 2021, and I ended up like 10 or 15xing my port, even though I had no long exposure until like mid-September. So I mean, once you get the bullish momentum going, it sustains, and there are plenty of opportunities within beta markets to Bitcoin and ETH that are going to run super aggressively if we do get that period. So I don't ever really stress about catching the tops and bottoms. I think it's I think that's something that a lot of people kind of overrated at the start of this year was catching the bottom, because what a lot of people will do, especially if this was not the low on Bitcoin, is they will think that they caught the low on Bitcoin and they will round trip their gains the entire way, because you're unable to break out of that mental cast that this is the bottom. I'm not going to sell my spot. And that also works two ways, right? Because when you see these rotations that occur in these bullish markets to altcoins, there's a lot of opportunity. So if you're just sitting in one asset, you're probably going to be outperformed by astute rotators.
Astute rotators.
Yes.
Rotators. Yeah, I mean, there are multiple ways to play this. So as long as you have a plan clear that you can follow, that's all right.
Of course. You got to make sure your plan's executable at the end of the day. Otherwise,
Sure.
What's the point of planning it?
And speaking of executing a plan, our plan was to get to 30 likes while live on the air today. Guys, we got 43 people watching. Thank you guys so much for being here. We got 29 likes on the video so far. If you are enjoying the stream so far, happy Q4. First stream of Q4. Thrilled to be here. Thrilled that you guys are here supporting us, enjoying the content. Please consider smashing that thumbs up button for us. It really does wonders for the channel. We got to make the robot at YouTube headquarters take a liking to us. So let's see if we can finally breach up. We got to 30 likes, 32. Fantastic. Thank you guys so much. Full TP. We're going to go have a nice big lunch now after this, because we just took a full TP at 30 likes. Thanks so much, guys. But I actually don't think this looks terrible. I mean, it's just kind of buoying here, but.
What are you guys doing for lunch?
My wife made me a sandwich and some sliced veggies and some chips, and I'm going to eat them. It's going to be delicious.
I got some steak. I got some eggs. I'll probably make a little wrap, something like that.
Eating good. What about you, Jackus?
I already had my lunch, and I made myself a nice pork with potatoes and tomatoes.
Love it. We're eating pretty healthy today. I gotta say, I'm probably gonna go grab some kava again.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, it's like a Mediterranean Chipotle, basically. Chain, but it's healthy enough. We'll call it healthy.
Man, ETH is just getting the old smackdown right here. What's going on with Bitcoin? Man, yeah. See, ETH BTC is just getting abused right now.
Oh man. I think this is actually playing pretty closely to this ETH Bitcoin fractal I had, which does have ETH Bitcoin spiking again, but after a little bit lower.
Yeah, I mean, this is just aggressive, man. Look at ETH BTC, man. Oof. But see, this is like this. Just choppy, just gross. I don't know.
It's gross, PA. ETH Bitcoin has traded just like if you tried to pair trade ETH Bitcoin this year, high probability you got chopped up if you were, just positioning explicitly through a synthetic pair trade, right?
Oh,
I mean, that's a meat grinder. That's the nomad meat grinder right there.
Oh yeah. What's Pepe doing, man? Oh, Pepe's. Don't reject here, Pepe. I want you to break out so badly, Pepe. That's how you know.
I've got the same line drawn, man. It looks a little rough.
We'll see, man. It's like it doesn't even make sense to chart Pepe. I mean, you can. You really just need to chart ETH. Yeah. You just need to chart ETH and see what happens.
God, the Pepe pump, man. That's still maybe my favorite time period all year, because like every other month of the year, my Twitter feed has been like super serious. I would consider it mild alpha, depending on your perspective. But the month that Pepe was pumping, I was a frog maxi, man. I think I posted like 20 tweets in a row of nothing but Pepe.
Oh yeah, dude, that was so much fun. I love Pepe season, man. We had a great time.
Man, that was fun. And they even gave us a second pump.
I know. I might buy this dip here soon, man.
I really think they're going to pin Bitcoin this week, man.
Here's what I'm looking at.
Let some positioning build up, and then something's gonna happen, obviously. But you build up that much OI over a week, we're gonna get an explosive conclusion, whether that be up or down. I know we're split on which direction it goes.
This right here.
Snorlax, who told you that Sol looked good last week, man? Who could have foreseen this? Oh my goodness!
I was fudded by both of you guys. By the way, Tucker.
Hey,
I said I wanted to long it at like 19, and you were like, I wouldn't do that. Both of you.
I said once you get above here, you should long it. Bang.
I just don't like trading Sol, man.
Yeah.
You don't like money, Tommy?
Do what?
You don't like making money?
Oh, I'll make money on it through the form of a steak dinner. But I don't like trading Sol explicitly.
It's not happening, man.
I think you chop minimum on this. I don't think you just retrace the entire thing quite yet. Yeah.
Top of the yearly VWAP, Cloud Max.
What are you talking about, Tommy? What are you talking about?
I know. I think it makes sense to chop Bitcoin above 28K, pump some altcoins, distribute for a week or two.
That's fine with me, brother.
Or accumulate, depending on your bias.
That is fine with me. There's your level on Sol. You got to hold that.
Damn, Matic slid pretty decently. I'd like to see that.
It's
funny because I was actually like, if you were on our Giga Chad call this morning, I mean, if you've been watching the show, I love to bully Matic just because I trade it really well. I made a lot of money shorting it this year, and I'm going to continue doing that. But I actually joked to this morning that I might be looking at longs on Matic later this week, even if it's just for one. I'm not looking for a lot, let me be clear, but I might be taking a long on Matic at some point this week.
Tommy, I gotta show it again, man. I gotta show it again.
The Super Sniper?
No. The Matic Sol comp. I don't know, man.
I just don't know that that's similar. Because Sol has been in a range versus
bleed.
Right. I'm saying like through the course of the entirety of 2023, Sol's been in a range and Matic's been in a downtrend.
This is true.
But I will see. I see the similarities, Tucker. I see what you're saying, and I think Matic can trade 60 cents this week, fairly easily if altcoins get another spike higher.
Yeah, just that right there. There you go. So what it got above these? What the hell was the spike on Matic? That was a scam. Matic is a scam.
Any spike on Matic is a scam by default, man.
Any green candle is a scam. Yeah.
No, when is Sam's trial?
I don't know.
Because I would almost guarantee that we get some pretty dramatic implications that come out of that discovery, whether that be things that happened in the past or things that are still currently ongoing in the market.
Is it this week?
I think it's this week.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I mean, I could see them using the news to manipulate the price, in both ways, maybe.
Oh man.
Somehow.
I know the FTX estate was authorized to sell a lot of their holdings. Has that already happened? Is that going to happen? I remember seeing tweets about it last couple of weeks, maybe.
I know they have plenty of altcoins that they're going to sell. That's why alts have underperformed Bitcoin over the last 3 or 4 weeks in general. I think this squeeze was more or less a rebalancing of those early shorts. Get to sell into a little bit higher prices. I'm not bullish altcoins.
I don't know,
You
man.
could maybe convince me to be bullish Bitcoin in the right circumstances.
Sol looks really good. Sol looks real good, man. I mean,
How about this one, guys? How about this? I don't know, man. It kind of seems like it's doing a little stair step up.
You should long it, Max.
I don't know. I see some equal highs.
Dollars.
I see some equal highs, Tommy.
at 39, yeah, I got him marked out too.
I mean, those equal highs are getting swept at some point. The question is only when.
For sure.
Jackus, do you think that Sol's ever going back to single digits again?
I don't see that likely.
Me neither.
He said,
I will buy all the Sol maybe at $3.
3.
Maybe. I think at that point I'd rather buy something else.
$3, Tommy.
It's possible. I mean, anything's possible in markets, but all that matters is that it's going to single digits.
Watch, man.
I think it's going to triple digits.
I think it'll go to triple digits eventually, and maybe like
Okay.
2027. But I'm actually I joke, but I am somewhat bullish Solana over a long enough time horizon.
Okay, that's fair.
$3 is not happening, Tommy.
I mean, $3 doesn't have to happen. I just need single digits.
You know what's going to happen is February 16th, it's going to go to single digits after you lose the bet.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'm going to make you buy more time on your option.
My synthetic option.
Yeah.
With the steak premium.
Yeah, with the steak and potato premium. All right. Well, we've been going over an hour. I say let's wrap it up here. We'll save some more for tomorrow. Tommy, take us out, man.
For sure. We have a very, very interesting start to the week. Very interesting start to the month that will undoubtedly be pivotal to fashioning our Q4 trend, whether that be bullish or bearish. Like I said, and as you could probably tell throughout the show, the panel is a little bit split on what direction that could be. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we get some great opportunities to trade later this week. That's all we can ask for at the end of the day. But shout out to everybody who has been here from the beginning of the stream to now. Shout out to everybody who came in after that. We appreciate you guys tuning in and watching the show. And if you could leave a like and maybe even subscribe, we would appreciate that as well. If you guys really enjoyed the content, we do have access to or links to some of the premium some of our premium content in the description of this YouTube video, as well as the link tree of our Twitter bio. You can check out that Matic setup that I just posted. I saw somebody commented about it. I love trading Matic, so if you like trading Matic, you can definitely find some setups in our Discord. But that's all from me, guys. Have a great rest of your Monday, a great rest of your week. I think we really set the tone for a great week today. But yeah, y'all have a great rest of your Monday. Thanks again.
Good wrap up.